Okay, till now we have seen, we have created this website where we have a simple home page, a nav bar, a jumbotron title, and all our blogs are been rendered out on our front page. Then we also created this new post button yesterday where we can click this. It will take us to a input form where we can enter title, enter body, and we can post our new blogs. Okay, so today we are going to see how we can add static files and media files to our website. Okay, so now what basically are static files and media files? So let's start with static files. So they include images, CSS, and JavaScript that we need to serve to a browser. Okay, so static files are basically the files that we are already going to write inside our code. Okay, so and that will be used to design or modify the website ourselves. In basic web development, what we do is we just create the CSS and JavaScript files, paste them in the same directory, and just give the path to that file into our HTML page. Okay, but in Django it is not that simple. We can't directly create a file and give link to that directory or that file and expect it to be included into our web pages. If we want to include an image, we need to create some static files. We need to give a static URL, and then when we go to that URL, there we can find that static file. Okay, so what you need to know is static file includes images, CSS, and JavaScript files. Okay, so how we can basically add the static files to our Django website? So there are few settings that we need to make, and let's start making these settings into a settings.py file. So, and please, this is a little bit confusing, so make sure you also do the same changes with me, so later on you won't get any errors or you will not find any difficulty. Okay, we'll take it very slow. Just make sure you follow along and make the subsequent changes into your project also. Fine. So we have a Visual Studio Code open over here, but the first thing we need to do is in URLs file, import static file URL patterns from django.contrib.staticfiles.urls. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to do. We need to import a package called static files URL patterns. Okay, so let's go to a URLs file and make sure this URLs file is not the app URL, this is the root URLs. Okay, so I am into my simple blog project. Okay, this project we are creating, and here this is my root app. Okay, and inside this root app, if I go to my urls.py file, here I need to import something. So the package that we need to import is from django.contrib. Okay, and what was that? From django.contrib.staticfiles.url. Okay, so dot static files dot urls, we need to import static file URL pattern. Okay, this is the first thing we need to import in order to create static files into our website. So the package name is from django.contrib.staticfiles.urls import static files URL pattern. And basically what static file URL pattern is, like, see here we have a URL pattern which includes all the paths or all the URLs that we need into our website. Similarly, static file URL pattern will also hold the URLs for the static files. And then what we need to do after we import this thing, okay, we need to, second thing is then append the static file URL pattern to the base URL. Okay, so how we can append it is that we need to do URL patterns plus equal to means add this or join the static file URL patterns to the base URL, that is URL patterns. Okay, and we can do that using URL patterns plus equal to static file URLs pattern. And I hope there is a parenthesis to it because it is a function, so we need to add parenthesis to it. Fine. So this is the main URL setting that we need to do. First of all, we need to import the static files URL pattern from the package called django.contrib.staticfiles.urls. Okay, and the next thing you need to do is add the static file URLs to the base URLs. Okay, so if you want, I'll just paste these two commands into the chat box so you can just copy it from there. Okay, okay, just make sure everything is correct. This is the first import statement that we need, and then the second thing we need to do is join these two URL patterns. Okay, so once this setting is done, we need to make another changes, and that is into a settings file. So once the URL file is completely set up, we need to make some changes into our settings file. And what changes do we need to make? In settings file, create static file dirs. So what static file dirs means? These are static file dictionaries, directories, and they will store all your files that are static. That is they will store your images, they will store your CSS, they will store your JavaScript. So let's create this static files dirs. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to go to your settings.py file and scroll all the way down, and here you can already see they have provided static URL. Okay, so now we already have a URL, we only need a directory to store these static files. Okay, so we can create that by saying, what was that, static files URL dirs, all caps, static files underscore dirs. And then what we're going to do inside this is we are just going to do os dot path dot join base directory and a folder name assets. So now what's happening over here, this is a very familiar statement, right? We have joined our templates folder to our base directory in the same way inside the templates. Okay, so here I am inside my templates, and here also we have joined template dirs, that is template directories, to the base directory. So the similar thing we are doing with static folder. We say static files dirs equal to os.path.join, and what we need to join, a base directory to a folder name asset. You can give any name over here, but basically it is preferred as asset because all your static files are stored inside a folder called asset. Okay, so with that done, we have done the basic setup or the settings that we need to do in order to serve the static files to our web page. Okay, so I'll repeat once again. First we went to urls.py. In URLs we imported the static files URL patterns, and then we joined those static file URL patterns to our base URLs. Then into a settings.py file, we went all the way down. Here they have already provided a static URL, and then what we did, we created a static files directory, that is dirs, and then joined it to the base directory and created a folder asset. Okay, this is not actually created, we'll just create it right now. Okay, so as we have created this template folder, similarly we had to create a folder called assets.
Hello, Karan.
Yeah.
Hello.
हाँ बोल आश्लेष बोल. Hello.
Sorry to interrupt.
हाँ हाँ.
Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is breaking in between.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah, it is clear now, but it breaks in between.
Okay, I'll try to repeat it once again. Do you want me to repeat again?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, fine. I'll just repeat one more time what we are doing right now. Okay, so is it clear till now? In URLs folder that was inside this simple blog.urls, what we did, we imported this static files.url pattern, and then we joined it to the base URLs. Okay, so this is very much clear. Only two statements, import statement and a join statement. Similarly, in the static settings.py file, we created the static files dirs, and then we did os.path.join and joined this asset folder to the base directory folder. Now we need to create this asset folder and store all our static files into it. So let's create this asset folder. Okay, so I'll create new folder. I'll just name it assets. Okay, and make sure this asset folder is inside the root directory. Okay, where we have all our folders, right? We have our app, we have our templates, and then we need to have this assets folder. And inside this asset folder, what we can write is we can write some external CSS or JavaScript, or even we can store some images inside it. Fine, so that we'll do later, but first let's see how we can add media folders. Okay, fine. So we have completed the settings that were required to serve static files to our server. Now we need to see how we can handle media files. And what basically media files are, they are just the files that the user will upload. Okay, the files that uploaded by the user are called media files, and the files which are given by the program or hosted by the program to the server or to the browser are called static files. Okay, so media files will include your profile picture that the user will upload, or the pictures of the blog, or the thumbnails that the user will upload. So these are all the media files. Okay, and let's see how we can include these media files into our project. So in order to have media files, there are again the similar kind of settings. We need to add some URL patterns to our URL folder, and we need to make some changes into our settings file. Okay, so let's go to our settings file first, and it says that we need to create a media URL. Okay, as we had a static URL, we need to create a media URL. So let's try to create a media URL first. Okay, so here I am into my settings.py file, and below the statics folder we will create media URL, and we'll give it a URL which will say /media. Okay, so whenever we go to /media URL, we will be able to collect all our media files. And media files means just basically the files that the user will upload, or if we'll post that files to this URL, and this URL will store the files into the database. Okay, so we have created a media URL. Then the next thing is that we need to join the media directory with the base directory. Again the same thing, if we create a URL, we will need a directory to store these files, right? And we need to join that directory with the base directory. So the same thing is going on over here. As we join the static dirs, we are going to join the media, and it is named as media root. Now it is not media URL or media dirs, it is media root equal to os.path, again the same dot join, and then we need to join the base directory with a folder called media, and inside this folder we are going to store all our media files. Okay, so it is that clear. Same thing we are doing as we did with static files, we are doing with media files. We created a URL, we created a directory, and we joined that directory with the base directory. Okay, then the next thing, again create that directory over here, but before that there is some another settings. And once the settings file is done, what we need to do in URLs file, we need to import something, and that is called static. Okay, so let's import this statement. It says from django.config.urs.static import static. Okay, I'll again put this statement in the chat box so you guys can copy it. Okay, make sure you copy the same thing. If there is any problem, then it will give error. Okay, so we need to import this statement, import static function from this given path. Okay, so let's go to our base URLs, and here what we need to do, we need to say from django.conf dot it was URLs dot static import static. Okay, so what the static basically does, these are just the URL patterns, and they will join this whatever we pass to this URL to our base URLs pattern. Okay, so now what we need to do, as we joined this static file URL patterns to our base URL pattern, we need to also join the media URLs to the base URLs. Okay, so again the same thing, URL patterns plus equal to, and now the it is not directly a package included inside Django, so we need to write some code here, and the code is also given over here. Okay, say this is the code that we want. Okay, I'll again paste it into the chat, so just copy this code, it will be much easier. Okay, so it says that URL patterns equal to static, and then we need to include the URL, and once that URL is included, which directory do we have to look in order to find the media files? So we need to look in the media root. Okay, so let's try to do that over here. I'll again copy it, the same thing, and this is not URL underscore pattern, this is just URL patterns. Okay, So now what this statement basically is doing is it is taking this settings media URL document root. So now it is taking in two parameters. The first parameter is your URL, and it is saying if you have a media URL, then go to media root to find your media folders or to find your media images. Okay, so what this line is doing is it is taking a media URL, and if you have a media URL, where do we have to look in order to find this files or find these folders? We need to go to media root. Okay, so it is only doing that one thing, is just including this URL and media root and adding it to the base URLs. Okay, so it is saying settings is not defined. Okay, we need to also import settings, and that is from django.config.settings. Okay, I'll just copy it over here and I'll also put it in the chat. So also import settings from django.conf. Okay, so inside our settings. Okay, so now we have successfully done all the settings that we need to do in order to host and serve this static and media files. Okay, all these settings is only done in these two files, that is urls.py and settings.py. Okay, in urls.py we need to add the static URLs and the media URLs to our base URL, that is URL patterns, and in settings.py file we first created this URL and then we created a folder, that is a directory, and then joined it to the base directory. Okay, so it is that simple if you understood the logic. So first we created URL, then we created a folder which will include or which will store all our files. Okay, then we joined that folder to the base directory, and as we have URLs over here, we go to the urls.py file and join those URLs to the base URL patterns. Okay, so I hope everything is clear till here. Just copy these commands from the chat, so you'll not able to have to memorize it or even see it again. Okay, everything clear till now, all the settings that we have done. Okay, so now once this setting is done, let's try to see some static files, and let's try to upload some media files to our website. Okay, so currently this is our website that is looking. So let's try to include an external CSS file that will change, let's say, some background color of this website. Okay, so we'll be only using Bootstrap for designing purpose, but let's see how basically static files are included into our folder or not. Okay, so what we need to do, we have already created this asset folder. Inside that asset folder we need to create a file that will, let's say it is styles.css. okay, and inside this styles.css we can write some CSS, that let's say body, and we'll give it a background color of, what we can give, let's say aqua. Okay, I know it will look very ugly, but we only have to see if this is working or not, this static file, because we know CSS, images and the JavaScript files are considered as static files. So we have created a static file into our asset folder, and inside our blog we have, where we can go, we have templates and we have our home page, or we can directly go to our base layout. Okay, directly base layout, and here you can include that CSS file inside a link tag. Okay, so I can create a link. I'll say rel, not this, style sheet, and we can give href as. Now we can directly give assets and the name of the CSS file. Okay, we need to specify the path according to the static URL that we have given. So what was a static URL? A static URL was static. Okay, so everything after a static URL is going to check inside this asset folder. Okay, static is the URL pattern, and once the static is encountered, the base directory that we have given is asset. Okay, so /static/styles.css. Okay, so I hope this works. What happened? Our server is not running about. Okay, in settings there is some error. Let's try to check it. Okay, this comma is missing. Let's try to give that comma. Okay, one comma was missing inside our settings folder. So in settings here we need to give a comma, as this is a tuple. So let's try to run the server again now. Okay, now it is running. Okay, now if we go to slash static, because this is the static URL where we'll find all our static files. So slash static slash, we'll say styles.css. Okay, so this is going to give us the CSS file that we have written. Okay, so this is how you create a static file. And so this style.css is going to give you the static file that you have written. Okay, and using this URL pattern we can include these static files in any, what you can say, in any HTML page or any template page that we want. Okay, so currently we don't need any HTML page right now. That's what we have. Okay, all right, so we know that we can retrieve our static files now. So let's try to see how we can handle media files. Okay, so in order to handle media files, first of all let's delete all these blocks that we have created, because we will be creating new models for that which will have a image feed. Okay, so in order to delete this, we'll go to our admin page, and here inside blogs you can just delete all selected blocks. You need to first select them and just will delete them. Okay, so currently we'll see nothing here because we don't have any blocks created. So now what we need to do is we need to create a model that will have a title, a body, as well as an image. Okay, so title, body and image. So currently our model, okay, currently where is our model? Inside this blog we have this models.py file. Currently our model only has title, body and date. So we can add a new field over here. We'll say it as thumbnail equal to models dot image field. Okay, so thumbnail equal to models dot image field basically means that we need to store an image inside this variable called thumbnail. Okay, so if you want to learn more about these fields, you can just go to Django documentation, and they have all the type of various fields that Django provides. But right now we are only interested in image field. Okay, so now what basically image field is telling, that we will take an image and we will store it inside this column inside the database that is called thumbnail. Okay, so once that done, means we have made some changes to our model, right? Once we make some changes to our model, we need to migrate it again. And we saw what basically migration is. It is just creating the table from a class and storing it inside a database. Okay, so every time you do any change to your model, you need to migrate it. Okay, so let's try to migrate this blog. What we'll do, we will quit our server by Control C. Okay, I'll just clear it out. Okay, and now we need to migrate this new created model that we have, because this is a new model. We have added a field that is thumbnail. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to migrate this. So the procedure was python manage.py make migrations. Make migrations will create this table. Okay, make sure the spelling is correct, make migrations, and when I hit enter, right, manage.py. Okay, I think spelling mistake is there. Yeah, there was a spelling mistake in migrations. So you need to give proper. Okay, make migrations and hit enter. So this is going to ask you that you need to give a default value to your image. Okay, because you cannot keep any field empty inside an image field. So this is going to ask you that do you want to provide one of default value to all the existing models that you have. Okay, so just press 1 and you can give any default value. Just press 1 again, so it will just take the default value, and this is going to say add field thumbnail to blogs. Okay, so now we have successfully added this field thumbnails to our model blogs. Now what we need to do, once that is done, we need to migrate this, because make migration will only make the updation, but we need to store or we need to save that changes to the database. Okay, and that can be done by again python manage.py migrate. Okay, make migration will make the changes and migrate will save the changes. Okay, once I hit enter, this is going to tell me that applying done and applied all the migrations. Okay, so now we have successfully created or changed the migrations that we want. And if we go back to our admin page, first we need to run the server. Okay, now our model will contain 3 fields, that is title, blog and thumbnail. Okay, so let's run the server again. Okay, now the server is running. What we need to do, go to our admin page, and here now if I click on add blogs, this is going to give me a new field, that is thumbnail, and it is telling me to choose a file. Fine, earlier we were having only title and body, but now we have a new field over here called thumbnail, and it is automatically telling me that you don't need to enter any value over here, or you don't need to have text over here, but it is directly telling me to choose a file. That means this is an image field. Okay, so that is how image field works, or basically all the field works. A text field will only give you a limited area to write. Text field will give you an entire area to write. Char field will give you a small space to write, and an image field will give you an option to choose a file. Okay, so let's create a new blog, that is, we'll say first blog, and I'll just give this is okay, that is done. And now it is asking me to select a file. So what I'll do, I'll click on choose file, and I'll just go to my pictures and take any, what we can take this. Okay, so I choose the image, I gave it a body, I gave it a title, and all I need to do is now click save. Okay, so now this first block is created. This is having a title, a body, and this is telling me that you have currently chosen this brain.jpg as your thumbnail. Okay, so now if we go back to our front page, refresh it, here you can see my first blog is ready. Okay, so this is how we created a blog, but this is not rendering out that image yet, because we haven't told our front page to give the image. But this is clear that how we can add this image field. What we did, we made some changes to our model. Okay, and what was that change? We just added a extra field that has a name thumbnail. You can give any name over here because it is basically just a variable. So what we did, we created a thumbnail and we said that it is an image field. So once we say it is an image field, Django will automatically consider it as a file field or an image field, and it will ask me to store an image inside that place. Okay, and another thing to notice inside this is that a media folder is automatically created, and this brain.jpg that we have uploaded is now saved inside this media file automatically. Okay, I didn't manually put this brain.jpg inside this media folder, or I didn't even create this media folder my own. Django itself created this media folder because as it encountered a media file. Okay, so once we upload a media, all the medias will be stored inside this media folder. Currently we have only one place. Okay, so till now is it clear? Once we make changes to our model, we need to first make migrations. If it is asking for a default value, give any default value, 1, 0, 2, 3, anything. Once your migration is created, migrate that migrations. Once you do python manage.py migrate, then inside your admins.py file, you can see a new field is added that is going to ask you to choose a file. Once you choose this file and save your blog, automatically inside your project, a media folder will be created, and this media folder will store this brain.jpg. Okay, so is it clear till now here what we are doing? Any doubt till now? Okay, so let's see how we can render out this image that we are passing inside this, what we can say, inside this card. Okay, so we know that a card can render a image, a title, a body and a button. So let's go to the card documentation again into our Bootstrap. So here I am into my components and I need a card. Okay, so this card will have an image, a title, a body and a button. So we only need to add this image. We already have the title and the body. Okay, so image can be added by just this image tag. We'll just copy it only. Okay, once this image is copied, what we'll do is we'll go back to our project, and where are we rendering out the cards? The cards are being rendered inside the blog, inside the template and in the home page. Okay, and here you can see we have a division of class or card, sorry. Okay, and above the card body we are going to paste the image field. Okay, so just save this, go back to your front page, and here you can see an image is added. Only thing we need to do is now we need to retrieve the image that is stored inside our database, inside the media folder, and we need to display out over here. Okay, so now how we can do that is we'll go back over here, and inside this source we are going to tell it that take, not inside curly braces, what you want inside this source, you want blog dot thumbnail dot url. Okay, once that is stored, we'll go back and hopefully we are able to see the image that we have uploaded from the admin panel, and we are able to render out that image to our front page. Okay, so what we did inside our HTML page is that inside the source of the image, okay, inside the source of an image, we said that take the image that is stored inside this blog and its name is thumbnail. Okay, and its thumbnail is going to have a URL, and that URL is basically /media. Okay, because we have set up the URL into our settings.py file, right? Because every media file that you upload will have a particular URL, and that URL is /media and then the media name. Okay, and we know that this media is basically stored inside the media folder here. So that's why we need to tell it that take this thumbnail URL and assign it to this source. Okay, so it is that simple, and we have successfully rendered out our first blog with an image. Okay, so let's just quickly revise everything that we saw till now. Okay, what we did is, okay, from the start for the media files, okay, we went to our root app, we went into settings.py file. Here we created a media URL, we created a media root that is going to store all your media images. We joined that media root to the base directory. Okay, and then we went to urls.py file, we assigned those media URL and that media root to our base URLs, that is URL patterns. Okay, and this completes our setting or configuration for the media files. Okay, once that is done, what we did, we made some changes to our blog or the model. And what changes did we made? We just added a new field that is going to store all the images for a particular blog. Okay, and we named it as thumbnail. If we do any changes to the model, we need to make migration that will update these changes, and then we need to migrate this model, and after migration this model is successfully updated. Once this model is updated, what we did, we went to our admin page, and here we can see a new field is added that is asking us to choose a file. Okay, once that is done, we created a small blog over here. Okay, and we saved it, which means that now our blog has a title, a body, and a thumbnail. Okay, so now we were already rendering out title and body, and only thing we changed inside our card was that we added an image tag, and to the source of the image we gave the source of the thumbnail of that blog. Okay, and now we are seeing output as we have a title, a body, and a image. Okay, so any doubt till now? This complete process of how we can store media files, how we can render media files, how we can do the settings, do the URLs and everything. Okay, once you do it yourself it will be much clearer, but for now the concept is clear, everyone. Okay, you want to repeat the migrations. Okay, so it is not very hard. What you need to do is, once you have made changes to your model, just go to your terminal and quit the server or create a new terminal. So let's create a new terminal, and here all you need to do is say python manage.py make migrations. Okay, once you do python manage.py make migrations, currently I have no changes inside my model, so it is going to tell me no changes detected. But if you change something, it is going to say that yes, this or these changes have been made to your model. Once your changes are been updated, what you need to do is python manage.py migrate. Okay, so once you do python manage.py migrate, this is going to save all the changes that you have done to your model. Okay, these are just the two steps, and we have already seen it when we have created a model. Okay, creating a model and updating a model are same process, make migrations and then migrate. Okay, so you are asking, can we only add images, can we add media like videos? Okay, for that you need a different type of field inside your model. That is, currently we are saying that only store images. Okay, but if you want to store some files, say PDF or documents or spreadsheet or even videos, then what you need to do is, there is a special field called file field. Okay, so make sure you go to Django documentation and read about file field. So file field will let you store any type of file that you want. Okay, image field will only let you store the images, but file field is a field that will let you store any type of file that you want. Okay, so now we have seen that how we can create a blog through admin, but now what if I need to create a blog through user? So for that we already have this new post. Okay, and now this new post have a blog, a title and a body, but now we need to create a new button that is going to let me have a input of an image. Okay, so how we can create that image upload button is, again we'll use Bootstrap for that. So let's go to Bootstrap, and I hope it is inside, let's see, inside file, is it forms, is it there? Okay, yeah, so what we need currently is that we need this file button. Okay, so let's just copy out this code to include this file button inside our form. So we already have a form, so we'll only copy the div that is given. So we'll copy this and go back to our new post.html. So where is new post.html? This, and inside the new post.html we are rendering out this form. So let's save the paste the thing that we have just copied, and what we can do is we can just let it be. We'll just change the label and we'll say upload a thumbnail to your blog. Okay, so we are just telling them to upload a thumbnail to your blog, and we also need to give a name to this input, right? Every input should have a unique name, because that is what we are going to use in order to extract the data from this inputs. Okay, so let's try to give it a name, and we'll give it the name again as thumbnail itself. Okay, so now we have this input ready, and let's see how is it looking inside our. Yeah, so now inside this create new blog we have a file button. If I click this, this is going to ask me to upload an image to my blog. Okay, so once that is created, we need to post this data to a URL, and that URL is going to handle the data to store it inside the database. Okay, that's what we saw in yesterday's lecture. So now, we need to make few changes, because a image file or a file itself is not similar to a text. Okay, currently we were just passing text, that is title and body, but now we are passing a complete file, that is a complete image. So there are some changes that you need to make. The first thing you need to change is that inside your form, okay, this is your form, and inside this form you need to specify that you need to tell Django that this form is sending some media. Okay, this form is sending some media. Okay, and that we can do by specifying the encryption type, that is enc type is equal to multipart form data. Okay, so now what this will do is this is going to tell the Django that your form contains some kind of file or some kind of multimedia or some kind of image, and it should be encrypted in this pattern. Okay, so we need to specify the encryption type of this form, because the text or the body is encrypted by the Django itself using the CSRF token, right, that we saw yesterday. But in order to have a media folder, or in order to handle the media files, we need to specify a default encryption type, and it is specified using enc type equal to multipart form data. Okay, so this is the first change that you need to make inside your form. Now the next change you need to do is you need to handle this file upload inside your views. Okay, so let's go to our views.py file, and here we were just handling what we were handling, title and data, sorry, title and body, but now we need to handle the image. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so okay, so this is how you can create. Basically this is the earlier project that I have created. I'll just take this reference from that. What you need to do, as you did request.method equals post, we need to also check that if a file is coming from the server or not, that if the URL is sending some type of file or not, and that can be done using this request.file. And what we need to request from the server, we need to request the thumbnail. Okay, because the file name is called thumbnail. So let's add this one statement into our form, and what we need to do, if we say if the request.media is post and request.file, okay, I suppose it's files, and we need to give the name of file that we are requesting. So currently the name of file is thumbnail, because that's what name we gave inside our form, right? So if the request is post and if we are requesting a thumbnail, so we need to handle that data. Okay, so that can be handled. So as we handle title and body, we need to say a new variable thumbnail, and we will just assign the value that is requesting from the server as request dot files. Okay, this is not a post request now, this is a files request. And which file do we need? We need thumbnail. Okay, so I assume I wrote it right. Yeah, that is how you request a thumbnail. Okay, so now you have your title, you have your body, and you have your thumbnail that is coming from the URL through the post request. Okay, once the URL posts this data, we are handling the title, body, and thumbnail. And what we need to do, we just have to save this inside a new object, new blog. Okay, so we are already saving the title and body, so let's try to save the thumbnail also. Okay, so now our new object is ready, which will have a title, body, and thumbnail that are coming from the request, or that are coming from the URL through the post request. Okay, so now what we did, we just said that if there is a file request, then you perform this operation, and this operation is basically the same. We are handling the post request, we are retrieving the title and body through the post request, and we are retrieving the thumbnail to the file request. Okay, so now we have thumbnail equal to request.files, and which file do we request? We request thumbnail, because inside our new post.html we have specified the name as thumbnail. Okay, so that is all. We have created a form in which we have a button to choose a file. Then we send this form through a post request and using some encryption types. Once this is posted inside our views.py file, we are handling all the files, that is we are handling title, body, and thumbnail. We are creating a new object and we are saving that new object, and we are just redirecting to the home. Okay, so that is all. Let's try to build a create new app or create new blog. Okay, so I'll just refresh and I hope this should work. So let's choose a file. Let's choose this image of black and white, and I'll say second blog. Okay, so we have sent we have choose a file, we have a title and a body, and if I hit post, this should not give me any error. And yeah, we have our second blog ready. Okay, so this is how you can collect a image, or you can take the image as an input from the user. Okay, so just quickly I'll repeat all the procedure that we did. We changed a little bit our form. Inside our form we were just having title and body, but now we have gave an option to choose a file. Okay, so that user can choose a file from himself, and that can be done using, we again use some bootstrap class. Okay, here is the bootstrap code for it. Okay, so we added this new class or new input field to our form. Okay, so once we have this, we go to our new post.html. Here we gave it a unique name and we said the name is thumbnail. Okay, once we have this field, we specified the encryption type, that is we are doing multi-part data. Okay, once we have encryption type done, our work of this form is completed. Now we went to our views.py file, and here as we were handling the post request, now we are also handling the file request. Okay, so we are taking title and body from the post, and we are taking the thumbnail from the files. We are creating a new object and we are just saving it. Okay, so that is how we created two blogs currently. With this was created from the admin page, but this is created using the new post button. So let's create one more just to make sure. Let's choose some file. What we can choose? Let's choose this file. Then we can have third blog. We can give it a body. And we can just say post this thing. Okay, so now we have a third blog ready with a image, a title, and a body. Okay, so before we finish this thing, just yesterday we saw that if we directly hit the post, this is going to save us an empty blog with no title and no body, and now currently with no file. So in order to prevent that thing, what we can do is we can just go to our form. Okay, where is a form inside the new, and inside every input we just have to write one line that is required, sorry, not this, required equal to required. So now what required will do is that it will tell that this field is compulsory required. You cannot skip this field or you cannot leave this field as empty, because if this field is left empty, the form will not be submitted. Okay, so we'll just write required equal to required in all the input fields. So we'll make sure that user enters a image, a title and a body before submitting the file. Okay, so input, input, input. Okay, so inside all the inputs we said required equal to required, and now if I go back, if I refresh it, and now if I try to post this empty blog, this is going to give me an error saying please select a file. Okay, so even if I select a file, let's say this, and if I have only a file and no title, no body, and say post, this is going to give me please fill out this file. Okay, this please fill out this field, let's fill it out, I'll say fourth blog. Okay, and once I fill it out, let's try to post this thing without any body, and now it is going to give me an warning saying please fill out this field. Okay, so now what require is doing, it is preventing your form to submit if any field is empty. So we need to give this a text. Okay, so now we have all the fields required, and once we post it, we have our fourth blog ready. Okay, so guys, we have successfully implemented the media files into our project. Okay, so let's quickly summarize it, because I know it is a very lengthy process and confusing process, but once you are familiar with the process and once you do it yourself, it will be very easy. Okay, so we'll not focusing more about the static files now, just quickly revise the media files. Okay, so I'll just close everything. So first thing in media files, what we did, we went to our root app. Inside the URLs, we created, inside the static settings, first we created a media URL, then a media root. Media root is basically a folder, and we joined it to the base directory. Okay, then we went to urs.py file, imported the static and settings from the Django, and then we said that join the URL and the media root to the base URL pattern that we have into our app. Okay, once this configuration is completely ready, what we did, we went to our model. Okay, we went to our model. Inside the model, we updated the model and created this image field. Then we did migrations, and then we migrated this model. Once this model is created, we now have three fields to our model, that is title, body and thumbnail. Okay, we can also create this model through the admin page, but we don't want that. We don't have to go to admin page every time. So what we did, inside our new post.html, inside the form, we created a file or we created an input that is going to take a input of a file. Okay, to that input we gave a name, and to the form we specified the encryption type. Once the form is created, we went to the settings.py file. Here we handled the file request. Once we handle the file request, we are assigning that file to a variable thumbnail. We created a new object and we saved that new object. Okay, and here you can see that our media folder that was automatically created by the Django has now these 4 JPG files, that are the files that we have uploaded from the form or the user has uploaded. Okay, so the everything that you upload is going to be saved inside this media folder. You don't have to specifically manually paste all these files over here. They will be automatically saved inside this media folder, and you can also open it from here. Okay, these are basically the same thing. So this is how media basically works. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. Any doubt? Yeah, IP address can be changed to a domain name when we will host the site to a server. Currently we are just working on local host right now, so we have that IP address, but when we will deploy this site, it will have a proper domain name. Okay, so we'll see that later. But is today's lecture everything clear, how we are assigning media files to our blog? Okay, so I hope everyone will complete their website till uh, this stage, because right now we have our complete blog app ready. Okay, there is a very basic things that are left, but right now we have a fully functional blogging app. And if you have your own blogs, or if any your friend is doing some blogging, you can just ask them for content, you can ask them for images and ask them for body, and you can just paste them inside your site to make sure that it looks a better site for blogging. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Everyone will complete their site till this page. So what we are going to do next inside our site is that now we have created input forms, we have added media, and in tomorrow's lecture what we are going to do is we are going to work on user authentication. That is day 7, user authentication. So only if a user is logged in into your system through his correct credential, that is username and password, then and then only he should be able to add a new post. Okay, if the user is not logged in, or if the user is not registered on your site, he should only be able to read this post but should not be able to add new post. Okay, that we'll see tomorrow's lecture, how we can do login and logout systems and even register a user into a site. Okay, so we'll see that in tomorrow's lecture, and I hope everything is clear from today's lecture. Fine, so please make sure you complete all the things that are happening. Refer the video, also refer all the codes that I am providing inside this chat box, this URL patterns and all of that, and make sure you reach to this point. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow same time with a new user authentication lecture. Okay, bye bye, good night. If you have any doubt, put it in the groups. Okay, bye bye.